So we've been diving deeper into the self-inquiry teachings as of late, and I just wanted to make a quick video right now to demonstrate to you in the easiest way possible with my amazing drawing here why we even ask the question, who am I? Why are we inquiring deeper into our true nature? Okay, so in the simplest way possible, let's get into it. So here you see I have three layers drawn out here. This is what I'm calling the self or awareness, okay? The next layer is mind, which is your thoughts, emotions, perception, right? And then the third layer, the farthest out extension, by the way, this is an extension of mind, is the world, which is your body and everything that you really perceive, all experiences, okay? The reason we ask, who am I? Right now, your sense of self, who you believe yourself to be, what you consider yourself to be, the reality that of yourself that you believe, the extent to which you are real is the world, which is the body, and mind, which is your thoughts. Your sense of self is identified in these two layers. And we're inquiring into the nature of what I actually am. Am I actually this body? Because this body is constantly changing. Throughout your life, you have experienced thousands of different versions of your body. They may change, they're literally changing day by day by day, right? So when you were 2 years old, that body is completely different from the body that you have today. So this body is constantly perceived to come and go, to change. So am I the mind then? Is the mind the source of my perception? The mind itself, right? Mind and thought are the same. They are not different. Thought is mind. Mind is thought. There's not a separate entity called mind in your head thinking thoughts. Mind is thought. Intellect, ego, memory. It is mind. But something perceives mind itself to change, right? You can say that at this one time I was thinking happy thoughts, and then the next day they changed it to sad thoughts, and then they changed it to happy thoughts again. So all the thoughts are constantly changing, emotions are constantly changing. So what is it that seems to be stable, seems to be me, that is perceiving all of these things to come and go, that is perceiving all these things to change? Because even though you've had thousands of personalities in your entire life, right? You had so many belief systems, which are all mind, by the way. You've had so many different ideas about yourself, about life, your worldview, all mind. You've seen so many experiences come and go. You've seen so many versions of your own body come and go. All of this has changed so much. But yet, you still inwardly, there's something within you that feels like me, that feels like I. This I that has never, ever, ever changed. When you were 5 years old, or let's just say 10 years old, running around in a park, you were living life with a completely different body and a belief system and identity, but you felt the same sense of I, me, running about in a playground. And right now, however old you may be, 20, 30, 60, 100, you have a completely different body, completely different external circumstances, completely different identity, belief system, thoughts, emotions, desires, resistances. But you still experience all of these through the same sense of I, of me, that you experienced your 10-year-old body and mind run around and on the playground. So that is the reason we inquire. That is the reason we ask the question, who am I? Because if we take it for granted, we'll always just stay identified at this level, mind and body, mind and world. But these things are constantly changing. They are unstable. And because they are unstable and we stay identified, our sense of self, of who we are, remains identified at this level. Because it is so unstable, we suffer. We constantly identify with things that are temporary. Therefore, we have an innate feeling of anxiety constantly. We're constantly chasing the good and avoiding the bad. And we're really happy when it's good, and we're miserable when it's bad. So our sense of self itself becomes very, very unstable, and it becomes completely dependent on what is arising in this moment. We become completely dependent on what sort of thoughts we're having. So if it's happy thoughts, we'll be happy. If it's sad thoughts, we'll be the victim of them. If it's happy circumstances, we'll be happy. If it's negative circumstances, we'll be the victim of them. So the point of asking the question, who am I, and inquiring deeper into your true nature is to recognize what is it that is stable, yet is perceiving everything to come and go. What is it that is always present, unchanged, unmoved, that can see all that is changing and constantly coming and going to come and go? What is it that can report that I was here the entire time while this came and went, this phase, this personality, this belief system? What is it that perceives even the memory come and go? Right? What is it that perceives even the memory being good back in the day and now not being so good? What is it that is prior to even memory? That is the I that never changes, the self, awareness, your true self. Okay? So the point of self-inquiry, the point of asking the question, who am I, is to shift our sense of self, of what we truly know ourself to be, from mere phenomena to the changeless essence, which is peace, love, happiness itself. Shifting our sense of self from body, mind, the idea of who we believe ourselves to be, to what we actually are, what we always have been, but all this time we have been identified with what is coming and going. That, my friend, is the easiest way that I could put to you the purpose of self-inquiry and why we ask ourselves the question, who am I? So this itself is the most direct method to really recognizing what I am. And this recognition isn't something that has to be worked for. This recognition isn't something that has to be built and, trained or taught. It is something that is available to each and every one of us right now if we actually inquire. And not inquiry in terms of thinking of what I am, but actually looking right now. Even the thought that is arising in this moment, to whom does this thought arise? What is it that is aware of this thought arise and go? And then a new thought arise and then go. What sees this while itself remains stable, changeless, and feels as me, I? So with self-inquiry, you are not also becoming something. You already are the self, but now you are realizing what you actually are. So far, the self has been identified with the false idea of what it is, with what it perceives. Now we are taking our attention away from what we perceive for a couple of moments per day, and turning it back to the one that is perceiving. Because the one that is perceiving is none other than I. So what is this I that is stable and changeless while everything else comes and goes? Let me know your questions about this. I'd love to know them in the comment section below. And let me know if this actually was clear and if it helped. Okay? If you want to make this shift from ego, from body, mind to self, and you want to work with me one-on-one, then check out my program down below. But other than that, hope this video gave you tons of value. Share with a friend who would also find it valuable. We'll see you in the next video.